What is it that makes you you? That's what we're here to talk about today. Soul is Pixar Animation Studios' latest feature film starring Jamie Foxx as Joe Gardner, a middle school band teacher who gets the chance of a lifetime to play at the best jazz club in town. But one small misstep takes him from the streets of New York City to the great before and more. Did Soul touch my soul? Find out on this episode of The Silver Site. What is going on, everybody? RJ here from the Silver Site, and today I'm going to be reviewing Disney and Pixar Soul, which is now streaming on Disney Plus platform. I know I'm in a very unusual setup. I decided to do a more casual review just to take some of the pressure off. I'm tired. I've been, going through some things with my family and, some personal situations, and I kind of want to do a more casual review where I just kind of talk about Soul and what I felt about it in a more relaxed setting. Before I dive into my review, go ahead and hit that like button, share this video with your friends, and make sure you subscribe as well as hit that notification bell so you don't miss out on all of my content. I have another show with Jake and Trey. We do For the Blurred Chair, where we talk about all Black nerd content and things like that. And I'm really enjoying the work I do with those guys. So definitely hit that notification bell so you don't miss out. We do a weekly show every Tuesday, and also have a vlog coming soon with Corey. And Lou and I are working on some other stuff behind the scenes too, so stay tuned so that way you don't miss out. All right, with that being said, I'm going to jump right into my thoughts on Soul. I enjoyed this movie a lot. Definitely, it had a lot of strong points that made me rethink my life in sort of a way, have like kind of a midlife crisis, a millennial crisis, as I like to call it. But I want to start out with the good. One thing I did like about the Disney and Pixar Soul is the animation. The fact that they made these Black features look so natural on these, Pixar animations and on these Pixar animated, characters, and they made it come across as very natural. And that's one thing as a Black person that I appreciate, is that our features aren't watered down, to kind of fit the narrative of what Pixar animation typically is. I know when Wreck-It Ralph did the Disney princesses and they have Princess Tiana, I know a big part of I can only speak for myself, but a big part of some Black people's I guess gripes about that was Tiana's her lips and her nose were drastically altered. And I get it, there's an animation style that Wreck-It Ralph has, but I feel like when you're making people of color, the one of the things that we appreciate about ourselves are our unique features, our nose, our lips, the way our faces are shaped. And I felt like Pixar Animation Studios did a really good job with portraying Black features, from the grain of the hair, from the way the light, from the texture, from the way the lighting hit the skin. For me, that's something that I felt was really, really well done. And I feel like it's something that a lot of studios, not just animation studios, but live action studios, need to start taking more serious, is the lighting of Black people. I'll recall the movie The Photograph, starring Lakeith Stanfield and Issa Rae. One thing I noticed about that was that the darker skin tones were lit so well, and we don't get that in Hollywood a lot. A lot of times Hollywood just tries to do these bright lights just to make you look lighter, or make you, be able to be seen. But it's not about being seen. It's about finding the right lighting for that texture. And I felt like, Disney and Pixar did a very good job with lighting. And as far as, the animation, the grains of hair that Black people have, the coarseness of it, I felt like it was appropriate. And I felt like they really took the time to, handle this with care, because our hair texture is different. No matter how you want to put it, we're all the same. We're all human, but we're just different. We're built different. Our genetics are different. And I appreciate Disney and Pixar for allowing that difference to come through in the animation. Another thing I liked about this movie was the message that it delivered just to myself about passion versus purpose. When I was 18 going to college, you're lost. You really don't know who you are. You're trying to figure out who you think you're supposed to be. And, you go into college, you go into life with this idea of finding what you want to do in life. And you think your career is your purpose. You think your passion is your purpose. But what Soul taught me on a personal level is that your passion doesn't always correlate with your purpose. Just because you're good at something, just because you love something, doesn't mean that's what you're supposed to do. I have many gifts, and I've had these gifts since I was a child, and I've been good at certain things, but I always thought that was my purpose. And then when my life shifted, I'm getting personal, I know, but this is what I took away from the movie. When my life shifted, as far as like my faith, I felt like, well, what is my purpose? I'm good at this, but being that I don't have this component of my personality anymore, who am I? What am I supposed to do? And so it kind of set me into this existential crisis. And what I like about Soul is it tells you that it's never too late to realize, your purpose in life. It's never too late to rediscover your passion, find that spark. And I feel like content creation for me is what I ended up doing. Not to say this is my purpose, but I found a new passion. So I very well could find my purpose eventually. I don't know. It kind of gave me a renewed sense of self. I went into this movie expecting just to have a few laughs and enjoy the culture and stuff, like enjoy it for the culture. But I found myself really thinking. Like when the credits went off, I literally just let them play, and I sat there and I thought about my life and my purpose. As this speck in the massive universe. Like I said, it caused me to have an existential crisis, but I thoroughly, thoroughly, thoroughly enjoyed this movie. I don't know. I just I took a lot from it personally, and I think this is kind of what, to me, this is a top tier Pixar movie because the message in itself alone is something that I feel like in 2020 a lot of people are kind of struggling with finding where they fit at in this world. And I think that, this definitely is top tier just because of the message. Another thing I liked about this movie was I don't want to spoil too many things, but the humor. I'm not going to tell any of the jokes that I laughed at because I don't want it to kind of mess it up. But I feel like the humor was both appropriate for adults and for children. I feel like this is one of the movies where you're going to walk away as an adult, watching this, remembering remembering the little, well, I'll tell one joke. There was a joke where they was like, "Oh, we don't beat you down here, or whatever. That's what life is for." And as an adult, as a millennial living in this day and age, 2020, with the economy being trash, with the state of the country, the state of the world, rather, just realize just how funny in itself a joke that is. One thing I'll say that I really wasn't too fond of in this movie, or that not too fond of, one thing I say that I wish we would have seen more of is Black culture. When Coco dropped, we were immersed in, Mexican culture from the Day of the Dead, the way the doors looked, the way that people interacted with each other from a cultural perspective. We got to see a lot of that. And Soul, I feel like we got, I guess little bits and pieces of, Black culture, in terms of jazz. But I was really expecting this to be like Blackity Black, and it wasn't. And I walked away a little disappointed in that because I feel like for this to be the first Pixar film with a Black protagonist, main character, I was really expecting them to go hard. Yeah, we got jazz, we got all that stuff, or like the music goes, but I felt like I really wish they would have dove a little bit deep into it. Like the scene with the barbershop, as a Black male, barbershops are a big part of our culture. And just to see the interaction between Joe and his barber, how barbers can really be therapists in a sort of way. And, going to a barbershop is a form of cultural therapy for Black people. I felt like that scene was so well done. There were so many aspects of music in terms of what it means to Black people that they could have explored a little deeper, but they didn't. So for me, I think that that's one thing that I felt like I wish they would have hit on a little bit more was culture. We got to see, Black male culture in the barbershop, but Black culture is so layered. And I really wish we would have got to see a little bit more of that. Other than that, I'll say that that's really the only thing the gripe that I had about Soul. But I truly enjoyed this movie. It's definitely something that's worth your time watching, now or whenever you get around to it. You're not going to be disappointed. I definitely feel like it was a much better movie than Wonder Woman 1984. I watched both this weekend, and go ahead and head over to our For the Blurcher playlist and look at our review of Wonder Woman 1984, see what we thought about that. But I really just wanted to get on here real quick and talk about Soul because it really meant a lot to me. And I appreciate the movie so much. And another reason why I kind of wanted to, do this review and get it out by any means necessary was because I really reflected on this movie, and I haven't done that in a while for a movie. So with that being said, thank you guys so much for tuning in. What did you think about Soul? Comment down below. Let me know what you thought about it. What did you take away from the movie? If there's anything that you felt this movie was missing, go ahead and drop a comment down below so we can get the discussion popping. With that being said, thank you so much for tuning in. My name is RJ from the Silver Site. Don't forget to like, share, and most importantly, subscribe. Later days.